What is going on, YouTube people? New York Cards and Comics here for another edition of the weekly sports card market update. As always, powered by our good friends over at comc.com. Fresh off their new investment thing from eBay. Still don't really have much in the way of details on that. We'll just kind of dive right in here. I covered that in the video the other day. Still not much information has kind of really filtered out into regards to what all that exactly means. We will see what benefits we all get out of that here in the very near future. In the meantime, ComC is still running a couple specials for the holiday season. The big one is the zero fee auction event. I actually submitted a couple cards to this. I had some leftover PSA slabs from a recent submission, Corbin Carroll Spotlight and some Tops Now stuff, that PSA 10 that I got back. So I posted them for a couple days. They didn't move. I just went ahead and ran them at auction. Sometimes, listen, I know auctions right now could be a little bit of a dicey place. Some stuff still sells decent. And what I found just recently, I submitted some of those Tops Now stuff to the eBay Live auctions on ComC, and they ended up selling for the same price as about what I was asking for it. Some even went for a buck or two higher. Sometimes you have to force the action on this stuff. I get it. Like if you're selling something high end, it's a different story. But this 20, 30, 50, $100 stuff, I don't know. Just auction some of it and let it go. Why let that just sit in there? I would rather have the cash to use to go buy things than sit there and wait out for the most perfect price on something. Sometimes you have to force people to make decisions on things. So if you haven't checked out ComC, no better time like the present. Go over there, see what they got going on. A lot of exciting stuff, hopefully coming with their newfound doubling down of partnership with eBay. Busy news week this week. The topic du jour was obviously the all the repack nonsense and the Arena Club. We're not going to talk about repacks specifically, but we will circle around to some Arena Club stuff here in a second. Gem rate numbers came out. I will cover those most likely tomorrow in its own video. I do have the numbers for the, as Gem rate is calling them, emergent graders. So we will look at those in this video. So we'll look at Tag, Arena Club, and HGA at their monthly numbers, at what they're doing. And then tomorrow, most likely, we will look at the big boys, PSA, SGC, Beckett, and CGC. But as I mentioned on the live stream yesterday, regardless what you think about the whole slab packs and all that nonsense, mission accomplished for Arena Club. I saw more videos, and this isn't even necessarily the people that were paid to make videos, people like myself, Dan the Card Man, because of Carlos, and probably more to come, have made a boatload of videos talking about this Arena Club repack. And from a marketing perspective, genius. They got everyone talking about them, whether they're not necessarily saying the nicest things. Arena Club has gotten more. This is the most run Arena Club has gotten since the Derek Jeter stuff all went down. I said it yesterday. I will double down on that again today. They do grade a decent amount of cards. We'll talk about it here in a minute. But man, oh man, repacks. It is just never ending. That was the big topic du jour. The other one was the Ruben stuff. I'm not going to sit here and rehash all that, but if you haven't had a chance yet, I would recommend going back, listening to the Bill Simmons podcast from earlier this week with Ruben on. There was a lot of insightful things in there, whether you might think he's a snake oil salesman, you might think he's the smartest man alive. Regardless, there was some good nuggets in there to be had. Those were honestly the two biggest topics this week from a news/content cycle. Something else that I wanted to cover that popped up yesterday. If you don't know Brian Gray, former CEO of Leaf, he has his own YouTube channel, Big Bry No Holds Barred. So he's getting into the old content space. He's done a couple different videos so far. He posted this one on, I believe it was Friday, and it's talking about essentially his sources are telling him, and I haven't talked to anyone, but he's probably much more well-connected than I ever will be, that a lot of the next upcoming crop of quarterbacks, your Knicks, Caleb Williams, Drake May, all those sorts of guys are going to be locked down by Fanatics for autographs. Couple things. One, not surprised by this at all. Least shocking thing ever. I don't know for sure. I don't feel like this is going to be that big of a deal. And here's the reason why. This is the 2024 class. My gut tells me, this is just pure guess, that Panini and Fanatics gets figured out before the 2024 product hits. That's just my guess. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Or we get some sort of dueling products. I don't know if they'll be licensed or unlicensed. I don't know. I just feel like between now and when we get 2024 Prism with Caleb Williams in it, I feel like something has happened in the Fanatics versus Panini war by then. Either a settlement, something goes someone's way, and it forces the issue one way or the other. I don't really know. I just can't imagine we go through another year like this. We're going to talk about Prism or Panini product and Prism for this upcoming class because the CJ Stroud hype levels are already out of control on this newer product. So just wanted to point this out that Brian Gray is essentially reporting that the next crop of all the top quarterbacks are going to be exclusive with Fanatics, which would put us in the same situation that we are in now with really no rookie autographs for CJ Stroud, Bryce Young, etc. We'll see what happens. Like I said, my gut tells me that this situation is going to be figured out one way or the other. Let's go ahead and pull up the grading numbers for the emergent graders, if you will. So we have Arena Club, Tag, and HGA. Once again, I'll kind of head this off at the pass. People ask all the time about what about so-and-so grading company or this one or that one. The problem is some of those random grading companies, because I've talked to GemRate about it, as people throw names out there, we talk back and forth and see if it's, something that's doable. The problem is they don't have public pop reports. If they don't have a public pop report, none of this works. So, starting with Arena Club, since they were the hot topic of the week. In November, they did an estimated 8,200 cards. Tag, with their new Tag X and S and whatever they got going on over there, grading scale or scales, at 5,900. And then HGA that's right, good old HGA still floating around, at 2,000. And I updated the total pop reports. Once again, those are estimates, a little bit of rounding here and there, but you get the general vibe. Arena Club. Now, I did not have August's number, but I could tell you it was large. I remember GemRate initially looking at it and giving me a general rough idea. He didn't have an exact, but he had a good idea. And it was like, I think in the 6,000s. The speculation there was that was off the backs of the National because they ran super cheap pricing. Arena Club, at least from what I have seen so far, it really fluctuates month to month depending on the deals that they run because they get dirt cheap for their grading prices. And I still don't know how many people are using Arena Club more for the marketplace than they are for the grading. I don't know. And we'll have to see, does this repack impact any of this? I have to imagine some people I would be willing to bet they got a ton of new users this week with people going to buy packs. We'll pull it up in a second. All their packs sold out. And these were like auto replenishing repacks. They all sold out. So they just got a ton of new account creations this week. Now, do 10% of those submit a couple cards to grade? Do 1% of those? No percent of those? 50%? I have no idea. But if they convert even a fraction of those into people sending cards in, they could see another boost next month. If they were smart, they would run a very aggressive pricing special in December to appeal to all these new users. And they may already be doing that. I honestly don't know. I don't pay super close attention to the inner workings of Arena Club's grading prices. Tag, 3 months in a row, and same with Arena Club, 3 months in a row of increased numbers. Tag rolled out the Tag X thing at the very, very end of the month. So I don't know that we are actually seeing any impact from that on these numbers at all yet. My guess is that is still mostly Tag S or the 1,000-point scale. I can't imagine much in the way of Tag X has hit the pop report, if any at all, or maybe just a few. The whole point of that is to, which still doesn't make any sense to me, that it takes less human QA. I thought the whole point was that it didn't need human QA to do a Tag X slab. So essentially, they should be able to process more orders faster. So we'll see how that goes month to month over the next couple months. And then our good old boys down there in Tennessee and girls, HGA, plucking along there back down to, or I guess up slightly from the previous month of 2000. I think they got a little national bump late summer as well with those the August number and the September number. August, we didn't have full tracking running yet. So we'll see what they do as we kind of close out the year here. But Arena Club and Tag, at least from a month over month number, continue to grow a little bit. We'll see where that goes from here. Both those two, obviously more so than HGA and really any of the small time graders, have really shaken the tree this month with the slab packs for Arena Club, tons of eyeballs on that website, and then Tag X with their new grading scale. So we'll see if that translates into submissions for those two companies. Once again, on the slab packs, all sold out. $200 one, sold out. All the $100 ones, sold out. $50 ones, sold out. From a presentation standpoint, they knocked us out of the park. The way it operates, the checklist, the whole 9 yards, I'll give them credit for having the visual checklist. I don't like the things that they put in the checklist. I can't believe how many people they got signed up to promote this thing. But regardless, they did do a good job on the presentation side of things. I'll give them credit for that. And that's honestly what's going to happen. Everyone and their sister is getting into the repack game now. Everybody is. So at some point, the cream's going to rise to the top, and it's going to make for a more competitive space. I don't know if that has a feedback loop into the singles market or not. You would think that it might, because if everybody has a repack product, eventually people are going to filter to the ones that are actually really, really good. So for those repacks to continue to be good, they're going to have good presentation, good cards in the packs. I don't know if that forces buyers to go out there and buy even stronger. I don't know. But that will be something very interesting to watch, because it does feel like everybody is getting into this thing. And there's only so much you can recycle this inventory over and over and over and over again. I don't know. I really don't know. This seems like the ultimate outcome. We all wondered, the junk slab era, where these all, you get questions all the time. Tomorrow, I'll do the gem rate report. PSA graded another 1.3 million cards. Everyone always asks, where the hell are all these cards going? Who the hell's buying all this junk? Where is it going? Can't see me, but I'm pointing at the screen. This is where it's going. All those slabs that sit in showcases that nobody wants to buy, this is where they end up. Next up, football. Football time. Charts and graphs. Powered by our good friends over at Market Movers. We're not looking at quite charts and graphs yet, but we'll be there in a second. But we are into the charts and graphs portion of the show for the most part. 2023 Donruss football came out this week. $275 a box. It came out on Panini at $209 or $220 or something. Sold out nearly instantly. Up on eBay, going for $275-ish. Why? CJ Stroud. Simple as that. CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud is driving a ton of demand. I will be surprised, or I will not be surprised if Prism football gets cleaned from the shelves. I have a feeling it will not sit on shelves. I could be wrong. We'll see. They might print it to the freaking moon and back. But Prism Football coming soon is going to be extremely, extremely hot and popular. Let's talk about what people are chasing out of this product. First off, base Strouds. People will never learn. Going for about $25 to $35 for a Donruss base raw CJ Stroud. More power to you, people. We all saw how this worked out. Now, listen, he's not Mac Jones. He's way better than Mac Jones. But let's not forget, this is a base Donruss card, and he has a mountain of product still coming that he is going to be in. Do not FOMO into base CJ Stroud cards. Please, for the love of God. This is what it's all about. The downtown. Someone is running one of these at auction. It ends on Monday night. This is going to go for an astronomical sum of money. It's the first one that I've seen hit the open market. I think someone had one listed, best offer, buy it now, for like $20K or something crazy. But I don't see that one up anymore. I don't know. Maybe it sold and I missed it. I didn't see it on sold listings, but I could have just missed it unless this one's it. Maybe they flipped it into an auction. This will probably go for a ton. It's already at 2.1K. I'll be curious to see. I am not like downtown Kaboom guy. It's a fine looking card. I'll be curious to see where this stacks up for other rookie downtowns. Like, I don't know what like a Burrow raw and a Herbert raw Kaboom goes for, or a Trevor Lawrence. I'm sorry, downtown, not Kaboom. It'll be interesting to see how this stacks up compared to what those guys rookie downtowns go for. But $2,100 already with 2 days to go as of time of recording. I'm recording this Saturday night. The other chase card, I actually, personally, I don't know how short printed these are. I actually think this is the better looking card. This is the Marvels, which is a long time popular insert out of Donruss. I think this is actually a pretty nice looking card. I'm a comic book guy, so obviously I'm going to go for the comic book cover styling of card. I actually like this quite a bit better than the downtown, personally. I get the appeal for the downtown because it's downtown or whatever. I'd rather have this one. Probably going to be a lot cheaper. This is an astronomical price that they're asking for this, $1,000. I don't think these typically go for that much in general. They are a little bit harder to hit, but they're not crazy. But I actually think this is a pretty decent looking card. That's just me. I'd much rather have that than the downtown if I was a Stroud collector. But what the hell do I know? All right, officially in the charts and graphs territory now. If you want to check out Market Movers, link in the description down below. Speaking of wax, I was curious. We were talking the last couple of weeks. We've been talking about across multiple different videos. The modern quarterbacks have been getting pounded. All the 2020 guys, 2021, 2018, all those guys, almost all the quarterbacks have been going down this year. I was curious what wax prices have been doing. So I pulled up all the hobby boxes for the last few years. And I went back 90 days, which puts us, right at the beginning of the season. Spoilers, most of them are down too. This is in order of most expensive to least expensive. And I stopped at 2018. 2017, obviously go for astronomical sums of money because it's Mahomes. 2020, hobby box, down about 10%. 2018, down 22%. This is just over the last 90 days. It's not like these sell that often either. 2021, down 25%. And 2020, down 25% as well. So 3 of the 5 years have 20+% drops. 2020 has a little bit of a less of a one. We'll see how that goes. Maybe the Burrow effect. Wax, the prices tend to move a little bit or lag a little bit behind. They don't move quite as quickly as the singles do. 2019, the only one up, and it's the cheapest of the bunch at 400-ish to 450-ish. Only real player in this class from a quarterback standpoint is Kyler Murray. There's obviously position players in it, but Kyler Murray is really the big air quote name from that class, if you want to even call it that. But even wax, the safest thing you could put your money into, has really been getting beat up the last 90 days on these ultra-modern, on the backs of these ultra-modern quarterbacks. Let's fast forward. 2023 Prism is coming. Pre-sale up on David Adams. I think it's actually $900. It shows $850 on mine because I'm logged in and I'm a silver member or whatever, so I get a little bit of a discount on stuff. So $900 a box. Your chase is Stroud, I guess Bryce Young, Will Levis, technically. Young's obviously not having that great of a season. Let's be honest. This is all about CJ Stroud. That would slot in right between 2018 and 2021. So for $100 more, would you rather have 2018, which would be Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, or 2023 with CJ Stroud and an extra $100 in your pocket, give or take, maybe even a little bit more than that? This just seems expensive. It'll be interesting to kind of see how this plays out. When this launches, I think I might I've done this before in the past where I will go watch like a latent break of a case and just kind of track the hits to kind of see what comes out of a case. So maybe I'll do that when this actually launches. Man, $900 for a Prism hobby box feels like the ultimate risk reward. We wonder why repacks are so popular. This is why right here. $900 for a hobby box. And some of these boxes, not some, most are going to, I have a feeling, be absolutely brutal. I'm so excited to watch box openings of this. There's no way I'm buying a hobby box Prism for $900. Listen, if I'm in Target and I run into some blasters and some megas, will I degen rip a couple? Yeah. Will I be pissed about it when I open them on a video and I open $3 worth of cards? Yes. But at least it's not a $900 hobby box. When I talk about sealed wax prices being out of whack with reality, this is exactly what I'm talking about right here. $900 for a Prism hobby box. Sheesh, as the kids like to say. Transition over to baseball really quick. Have not checked in or talked about Mike Trout for a while. I was just curious. I was genuinely curious. Sometimes when I do these videos, it's like, oh, okay, this player's been hot or not in the last couple weeks. Let's see what their prices are doing. And sometimes it's as simple as, I haven't looked at that card for a while. What's that up to? 2011 Topps update, Mike Trout, US 175. His flagship rookie PSA 10. I went back 180 days on this. That takes us back to midsummer. Over that period, it's down about 35%. The interesting thing is when you back this thing up over the last 90, it's only down about 7%, and you can actually see it's kind of, at least the last 3 sales in a row, have all gone back up. Now, there's rumors of him getting traded. If he would get traded and go somewhere crazy, I could see this getting a bump up in value because maybe he would finally go to a team that can actually get into the playoffs, or maybe he is just a curse. I don't really know. But seeing a little bit of movement here after it's basically sat flat to slightly down most of the late fall, early part of winter. So we'll see where this one ends up. My favorite comparison with this card is always the 89 Upper Deck Griffey. I think they are very similar in nature from a talking point perspective. I always like comparing those two cards together. The Griffey has maintained its value, shall we say, much, much better. That card still goes for about 1.6, 1.7-ish, give or take, maybe even 1.8 sometimes, where this has been flirting with around $1,000 now for a while. Next up, basketball. Let's switch over to basketball. We kind of wrap things up here. Talked about Victor Hoops. Speaking of cheap base cards, we took a glance in on this last week. These are now down to about $15 to $16. This is base Hoops. Once again, nice looking card. Would look really good in an SGC slab. And we could see it's following its common course that these usually do. When they first came out, they were going for $40 or $50. And then very, very, very quickly drop off to $15. This is just over the course of about not even 2 weeks, or just under 2 weeks, that this has gone from a $50 to $60 card down to a $15 card. Never change, early sellers. If you can get your hands on product a couple days before release and get those singles up, you can really, really cash in. We'll see how Victor goes once again as we kind of look at future releases of those products coming out. Obviously, no autographs to chase, as Topps has that on lockdown. Next up, another one. This is another classic example of, I haven't looked at his prices for a while. LaMelo Ball, hobby favorite. Never been a fan of this guy. He's a good player. He puts up good numbers. I don't know if it's him or the Hornets or both. I just don't view him as the best player on a good playoff team. I just don't. Maybe I'm completely wrong on that. Maybe he'll get a chance one day to shove it down my throat. But to this point, one, he can't really get out of his own way. He's hurt again. He just sprained his ankle. I don't think it's anything too crazy, but he'll probably be out a week or two at minimum. I think he's going to be reevaluated in a week. It looked pretty nasty. I saw the replay of it. His silver prism, and remember, up until this point, like obviously he just got hurt, he was actually playing really, really well. The problem is he's on the Hornets and they suck. His prices, having played really well to the start of this season, down 30%. Now, part of that is the overall card market slightly slipping down. Maybe you could blame some of it on that. Most of it is he's just not relevant on the Hornets, and that's a problem. Some of the guys could rise above it. We'll see what happens the rest of the year. Long way to go, obviously, but just a little update on Melo's silver prism. Last but not least, I just kind of wanted to point this one out. Zion. He had a first off the line blue shimmer sale earlier this week, and it had about, from the start of the season, it had like about a 50% drop. The blue shimmer, pretty rare. There's only popped 20. Nice looking card, color match, looks fantastic. A lot of people, and this isn't perfect, this is a one-off example, but you know, when I use silver prisms or whatever, when people talk about silvers and hollows, that the low numbered, low pop stuff holds its value better than the silvers. And in a lot of cases, that will be true. But I just kind of wanted to show this one because it's uncanny how perfectly these line up. I went back to, this is the first sale of the first off the line in a PSA 10 back in June of 2021. Prism actually been out for quite a while. This was the first PSA 10 to pop up, so this wasn't even peak Zion market. From the date of that first sale till today, that card is down 89%. There's one that even sold higher than it after the fact. This card topped out at 10K. Silver Prism, over the exact same time period, down 86.3%. A 3% difference in the price of these two cards on the dropping side. So Silver Prism, obviously not that rare. There's almost 1,700 of them out there, if not more. The market movers pop reports tend to lag a little bit behind. First off the line, blue, color match, shimmer, whole 9 yards, also down close to 90% over the exact same time period. And if you even back this up and look at like the last 30 days, blue shimmer down 45%. There's actually been 3 sales, which is kind of crazy. And then PSA 10 down 32%. So just back in early November, the blue shimmer was 1.6K, now down to 900. Seems kind of wild. That's all I got for you, boys and girls. We will catch you tomorrow with most likely gem rate data. I say most likely because the way things have been going lately, you just never know anymore what the hell's going to pop up. So, assuming nothing crazy, gem rate data tomorrow. We'll catch you, boys and girls, on the next one. Peace.